Hello everyone. So in this session we'll discuss about the Python OOPS concepts. So Python OOPS object oriented programming. It is very important coming to Python. So and coming to data science also this Python OOPS concepts are very useful and also they will help in your mini or major projects. So we will discuss what is object-oriented programming? Already we have seen what is object-oriented programming in the last class. So we'll discuss what are the various parts that are available in object-oriented programming. So we will discuss concepts and with generalized examples. So we'll see now. So why this object-oriented programming and what is the basic idea behind it means. So the basic idea behind object-oriented programming, it means it means that in order to combine both the data and associated procedures. So what are the data is there? In order to combine the data and what are the procedures associated with the data, for that purpose, we are combining and we are using this idea into single unit. It means we are combining the both the data and associated procedures into single unit. So which can operate on the data. Such unit is called an object. So this is the basic idea behind an object-oriented programming. So we will discuss now. So first one, class and objects in Python. So we will discuss what first of all classes in Python. So what are classes? So classes provide a meaning of classes provide a means of bundling data and functionality together. It means what do this class will do means it will provide a bundling data and functionality together. So this class will provide both bundling data and functionality together. So next, class creates a user-defined data structure. It means it will create a user-defined data structure which holds its own data members and member functions. So this user-defined data structure will hold its own data members. So whatever the data members that are there for them, it will hold its own and also for member functions also, which can be accessed and used by creating an instance of that class. So how you will create how do you access that class means by creating an instance of that class. So whatever the class that you are created, you have to create an instance for that class. So after creating that instance of the class, by using that instance, you can able to access this. Now say what? Class is a class is like a blueprint for an object. So class is nothing but a blueprint for an object. For example, if I take one generalized example, so there is a board. So if I want to clean the board, we need a duster. So the, if we take the example of duster, how this duster will be made? So some of the things are required in order to make the duster. So what are the things that are required for it? Those are the blueprint for duster. It means the required things for the duster are the blueprints. So with the help of that blueprint, we can create as many dusters as possible. So for this class house, it is like a blueprint for an object. So whatever an object is there, this class is blueprint for that. It means by using this object, we can by using this class, we can create as many objects as possible. So that is the blueprint. Classes are created by keyword class. So how do we create a class means we are having some keywords. That keyword is called class. And also attributes are variables defined inside the class and represent the properties of the class. So what are the attributes? Attributes is nothing but properties. So they are nothing but variables. So where do they define means these attributes will define inside the class. So after defining the class, inside that class we will represent the properties of the class. And also attributes can be accessed by using the dot. So how do you access that attributes means by using the dot operator. So if you want to access any attribute of the class, you need to go with dot dot operator. Now we will see how to create the class. So now we will see the syntax of the class. So how to use this class? So here see the syntax. First one class. Here we have to write class here. So after writing the class, you need to give class name. So you need to give this class name with capital letter. So that is the class name. So whatever the name that you want to give it there. So after that semicolon. After that inside that you can give as many statements as possible. So that's why they are given statement 1 to statement n. It means you can give any number of statements inside the class. So after that, if you want to access them, you'll be using this dot operator. We'll see further. So you'll see the syntax with practically. So I am opening Google Colab. See here, this is the syntax and the example. Here class. We have to mention the class. After that class name. So this backpack is the class name that I want to give. So here I gave backpack as the class name. So after that I have given pass because after mentioning the class, after defining the class, definitely you have to give some statements because without giving statements, it will give an error. So um, in order to miss an error, in order to negotiate error, we should use past statement over here. Already we have seen this past statement in loops. So here also we can able to use this past statement. So by using that, it will not give an error. See, see, it will not give an error whenever you give this past statement. So next one, instance. So how do you create an instance for the class? Here, see, I'll show with an example. Here I define class with class name. After that, inside that class only you have inside the class only you have to use the function and also you have to create the function. So inside the class, here I am defining the function with self comma price. The self comma price is the parameter. So it means I am creating some instance for that. So say these are the self and price are the instances inside the function. So he see here how I am extracting that variable self dot price equal to price. It means here I am creating an instance. So how do you create an instance means by using this self parameter. So after by using self dot price equal to price, whenever you do this, it means you are creating a instance for that class. It means you are creating an instance like that. You can able to create an instance. See here, I am printing. So it will not print. It will not give an error. So next one. See class backpack. So here I am defining the function inside that class. So I am giving these two parameters, color and size, and self is the instance on a class. So here see here, self dot items equal to empty. It means uh, for an item I am creating an empty list. So for an item I am creating an empty instance. Next one see color. Self dot color equal to color. So here I am creating a color instance. How I am creating this by using this self dot. Here see dot operator we have used. By using this dot operator, I am creating an instance for that class. So next size. So self dot size equal to size. So whatever the parameters that are present inside this parenthesis, you need to create that instances for that class. So like that. Suppose if I want to print that instance, so how to, so these are the instances. So self dot price equal to price, these are the instances that we are giving. So now see how to create a instance means. Here I am mentioning class and class name. Next I am defining the function itself. Next I am giving self dot items equal to empty list. Here I am giving instance over here. Next I am creating an object x is equal to backpack. So now I am printing, here I am giving this function call. So whenever you use this function call, so this will be stored into the X. After that, whatever you have given, after that, whatever you printed this X value, it will print the backpack object at this address. So like that, it will create an instance. And now we will see what is meant by object also. After this, we'll go with an example. Next one, see an object. Object is an instance of a class. So object is nothing but instance of a class. Suppose what I have to say means, if I take generalized an example, it means what do this object will specify means it will represent a specific implementation of the class and hold its own data. So for implementing the in order to, it means it is representing it is representing a specific implementation of the class. So what are the class that we are implementing, it is representing its specific implementation and also holds its own data. So whatever the data that is the class is having, it is holding its data. So whatever the data that is class having, this object is holding the class data. That is what. So see, a class is like a blueprint, while an instance is a copy of the class with actual values. It means a class is like a blueprint. So while an instance is a copy of a class. So instance means nothing but a copy of the class with actual values. That is the meaning of the instance. And object consists of. So what do this object will contain means it will contain state, behavior, and identity. We will discuss these three things. So what do you mean by state? It is represented by attributes and object. So what do the state will represent? It will represent the attribute of an object. So whatever the object is there, it will represent its attribute. So object's attribute it will represent. That is the state. And also it will reflect the property of an object. So the state will represent the reflect the properties of an object. It means whatever the changes that you have made, it also will represent reflect the properties of the object. Next one, behavior. So we'll see what is behavior for the object. It is represented by methods of an object. How do you represent this behavior? Means methods by methods of an object. By using this, we can able to represent, and also it will reflect the response of an object with another object. So, what are the object response that it is containing? With the help of that object, it will reflect other object also. It means that is what it is saying. See here, it also reflects the response of an object with other objects. With the other objects also, it will reflect the response of this an object. Next one, identity. So what do you mean by identity? It gives a unique name to an object. So in order to give an unique name to an object, we are using this identity. Suppose we are having ID card in our college. Why do they give ID card for us means in order to identify uniquely. It means suppose if there is a person, if they want to identify a person, so in order to identify, they will give ID card for that purpose. Like here also, if you want to identify an object, in order to give unique name to an object, they will use an identity and also enables one object to interact with other objects. Suppose if one object wants to interact with another object, it will enable us. This identity will enable us to in order to interact with other objects. So that is what it is saying. So here we will say how to declare an object, also called instantiating a class. So here we will say how to declare an object. So when an object of class is created, the class is said to be instantiated. So whenever an object of a class is created, so when you created an object for a particular class, then that class is said to be instantiated. So when do you say this class is instantiated means? whenever an object of a class is created. So when you create an object for that class, at that time you can able to say a class is instantiated. Next one. All the instances share the attributes and the behavior of the class. So what are the instances that are present? They will share the attributes. It means whatever the properties, whatever the behaviors of the class is. So it means what do these instances will do means suppose you have created class. So it will share the properties and behavior of the class. So whatever the class that is holding its behavior and attributes, these instances will share those. Next, but the values of those attributes, the states are unique for each object. So whatever the values that are present for each attribute, they are for unique for each object. It means they will not contain duplicate values for different objects. They are unique for each object. So for each object, there are containing each attribute. So that is what. A single class may have any number of instances. It means for single class, you can have any number of instances. It means that's why it is called a blueprint of an object. So by using this single class, we can create a number of instances. So that's why in the syntax we have seen from statement 1 to statement n. Likewise, we can able to create any number of instances by using this single class. That is the advantage of this class and object. So next one, see how to create object in Python. So here you see syntax for declaring an object. Here you will see here you will give object name. So whatever the object name that you want to give, you give that object name here. Next one you have to give that class name and mention this constructor. It means by looking this syntax, you are creating an object. So like that, we have to create an object. So that is the syntax for object. Now see here. Here I am creating a class employee. Here I create employee class. After that, I am defining the function, defining the function inside the class and passing two parameters name and age. Now I am using and now I am giving instances for that class. Self.name equal to name, self.age equal to age. So these are the instances for the class. Next one. Next one again I am creating the function. It means details. So this is the so details. It means the details of the employee. So after defining the function, here printing that employee name, self.name, employee age, self.age. So whenever you give this, you have to pass these names over here. So here I am creating two objects in this example. See, employee one. This employee one is the first object name. That's why it is called a first object. Next, class name. So what is the class name? Employee is the class name. So that class name is mentioned over here. Next, inside that, here what are given? Name and age are given. So in the same way, you have to pass this. So what is the name? Sam. So what is the age of that employee? 36. So here I created one object and I passed two values for that parameter. So after that, I am calling this employee one dot details. So whenever you call with this object, it will go to this detail and it will print this employee name self dot name. So what is the self dot name? Name will be Sam. So here it will print Sam. Next one employee age self dot age. So whenever you do self dot age, this age will be taken by this 36. So whenever the employee one will be printed, employee name Sam and age is 36. Next, here I am creating another object. So what is the name of the second object means employee 2. So employee 2 is the second object. So here I am creating the second object called employee 2 and calling the class name. Here I am using this class name employee and I am passing two parameters because here we are using name and age. So according to that, we have to pass those. We have to pass name and age only. So whenever you call this, you will print employees employee name is ED, and employee age is 43. Likewise, you can able to create um, any number of objects by using this single class only. So here, with the help of this single class only, I have created multiple objects and I call multiple times. So that is what. Next one, class and objects in Python. So please have a look. I will explain each and everything. Please have a look for 1 minute. So now we will see what is the self in the class. So why do we mention the self? So we will see what is the meaning of the self. So the class method must have an extra first parameter in method definition. It means for the class methods, whatever the method that we are creating for the class, we should have an extra parameter. So first we have to define that parameter. It means that parameter should be first inside the parenthesis. So we do not give a value for this parameter. It means whatever the parameter that we are passing for this, we should not give this parameter. We should not pass any value to this. So what is the first parameter? Self. So this self parameter should be given as a extra first parameter, and we should not give value for this parameter when we call the method. So whenever we call the method, we should not give any value for the any value to this self self parameter because Python only provides for it. So we no need to provide any value for the self. So by default Python only will provide. So next one, if we have a method which takes no arguments, then we still have to have one argument. Suppose we are having a method. So in that method, it will that method will not take any argument. Despite having no argument, still it should have one argument. Without having any argument, it will create an error. That's why. Next, the self parameter. Now we will see what is the self parameter. The self parameter is a reference to the current instance of the class. So what is the self parameter? It is a reference to the current instance of the class. So whatever the instance currently that is there, it is a reference. So this self parameter is a reference to the current instance. So whatever the instance that is currently there, it is just reference to the current instance of the class. So whatever the current instance of the class that is there, it is just reference to that. So that is, and also it is used to access variables that belongs to the class. So whatever the variables that are belong to the class, in order to access that variables, we will use this self parameter. So whenever you give this self parameter, it will access variables which is belong to that class. Next. When we call a method of this object as my object or method of argument substitute. So whenever we call this method of the object like my object dot method of argument one dot argument two, what do it will do means it will automatically convert this it is automatically converted by Python into my class dot method of my object of argument one dot argument two. So by automatically only it is converted into this method. So that is what it is doing. Next one, init method. So what do this init method? So we'll discuss this all this method and also in examples I will discuss what do this init method doing over there. So we'll see what do this init method. So class functions that begin with double underscore are called special functions. So the class functions which begins with double underscore are called special functions. It means they are special functions and also For that special function, they have special meaning also. So the special function init gets called whenever a new object of the class is instantiated. So when do this init method will get called means whenever a new object of the class is instantiated. It means whenever a new object of the class is created, at that time this init method will get called. Next, this type of function is also called constructors in object-oriented programming. So this is also called in object-oriented programming. We can call this function also called as a constructor. So that is what we normally use it to initialize all the variables. Why do we use this init method means in order to initialize all the variables. So if you want to initialize all the variables means we have to use this init method or init this special function. Now create see the example. Create a class in Python called book, which will take the following attributes. It means we have to create a class. What is that class name is called book. Yeah. So you have to create a class in Python called book. So by using this class name book, you have to create a class. So what are the attributes that will take ID, title, other number of pages. So you have to include these parameters um, by using in this. And also you have to include a method in the class which will output the ID of the ID of the book, title of the book, author of the book, and number of pages contained in the book. And also you have to include the class. So why should you include a method in the class means in order to output the ID of the book, the title of the book, and the author of the book, and number of pages contained in the book. So you have to go those things. So create two objects of this class and your output should like this. So like, the output should be in this format. Like that you have to create two objects for the class and also you have to get the output as like this. So this is the example. And see what class and instance variables. So instant variables are variables used for data that is unique to a particular instance. So what do this instance variable use? So this instance variable will represent unique to a particular instance. So for a particular instance, mm, we are used for these are the variables used for data that is unique to a particular instance. So we are using this instance variables for the data which is unique to a particular instance. Class variables are variables that are shared by all instances of a class. What do you mean by class variables? Means they are like a variables which are shared by all instances of a class. That is the class variable. So next the pass statement. What do you mean by pass statement? Means class definitions cannot be empty. It means whenever you mention the class definition, after that it cannot be empty. But if you for some reason have a class definition with no content, put in the pass statement to avoid getting an error. Suppose you have created a class, after that you did not give any content inside that class. So without giving that, it will give an error. In order to avoid an error, you have to give this pass statement. Whenever you give this pass statement, it will not get an error. So you see class and class name. After that, I am passing this state. I am giving this pass statement. So whenever you give this, it will not give any error. That is what it is saying. So we'll see some examples right now. So by using this class, objects, init methods, so by this, we'll discuss some examples. So that is the theory part. Now we will see the practical part. So here I am creating a single argument. How means here I am defining the class in class name. Inside the class I am passing the here inside the class I am defining the function with radius as a parameter. Here say self. We have to give self as a first parameter. That is what we have discussed in the theory. So for that we no need to pass any parameter, any value to this. By default, Python will provide value to this. So after that, I am defining the instance. So see here, self dot radius equal to radius. After creating an instance, here see, I am creating an object. So my circle is an object name, and we have to mention the object class name. What is the class name? Circle. Circle of pi. After that, I am printing my circle. So whenever you print the circle, it will go to the and it will create an object. Here, circle object at this address. So at this address, the circle object was created. So see, if I want to create multiple arguments, so see here how to create a multiple arguments. See, here I am defining the class with rectangle as the class name. After that, I am defining the function with length and width as the parameters. Next, I am creating two instances, self dot length equal to length and self dot width equal to width. Next one, I am creating an object. So my rectangle is the object name. This is the class. So I am passing two arguments, 5 and 10 are the two arguments. 5 is the value to the length and width value is 10. So whenever I print this, print my rectangle, it will create that rectangle object over here. Suppose if I want to get, suppose if I want to get the value of the length, you have to create my rectangle dot length. So object dot length. So if I want to get the value of it, you have to call with an object. So what is your object name? My rectangle dot width. So whatever the values that you want to get, you have to call those names with an object. So likewise you will get. See, so see whenever you call my rectangle dot length, so what is the value of the length means 5. So it will print 5. So whenever you call this width value with an object, it will print the value of a width. So what is the value of the width? 10. So that is. So next one, access instance attributes. Suppose if I want to access instance attributes, how do we access that instance attributes? We will see with an example here. See, class and class name, and after that I am passing defining the connection with these parameters title, year, language, and rating. After that I am giving self dot title equal to title, self dot year equal to year, self dot language equal to language. So like that I am creating instances for that. After that I am creating a new object with the class name movie and passing this parameter. So this is the title of the movie. This is the year which it was released and in which language it was released. That is the language name. And what is the rating of that movie means? This is the rating. Suppose if I want to access those names, so how do I access means by calling with object. So suppose if I want to access any instant attributes, you have to access them with the object. So with the help of object, I have to access this. See, I am printing my favorite movie. It means an object is created. So after creating an object, you have to call what are the things that you want to print with this object name. So my favorite movie that suppose if I want to know the title of the movie, I am calling this with an object my favorite movie dot title. So object dot title. So by using this object dot method, you can able to access any instance. So say here when see the output here, you are accessing this all instance attributes by using this object dot method. So that is what it is showing. So see the next one. Default arguments. So how the default arguments will take like in function, we'll see in this. So I am creating a class. After that, I am defining the function. So for that, I am giving color. So for that color, I am not mentioning any color. Next one, radius equal to 10. So here I am mentioning the value of the radius. Next, I am creating two instances. Color is self dot color equal to color dot radius equal to radius. So after that I am creating a class and after that I am creating an object with class and circle and I am passing some argument. It means here there is a color. So by default, the color will be taken as a red. So these are the default argument. Despite you are not mentioning the color, what is the color in the parameter. So during the object creation, this color will be taken as a default value. So that is the default argument. So whenever we print my circle, the object will be created. With the help of that object, we can able to get this or you can able to access the color value and the radius value dot by using this dot. So like that you can able to access. Next one, iterating over sequence of instances. So by using iterator, how do we how do we extract these instances? See here. So class and class name and creating function name with parameters x1 and x2. After that, I am creating two instances L dot x1 and x2. After that, see how we create I will do iterating over the sequence of instances. Now I am creating the four objects, three objects with three different names: player one, player two, player three of the three objects with the class name and passing different values to this. So for player one, I am passing 10, 20. For player two, I am passing 40 and 50. For player 3, I am passing 70 and 80. It means we are passing different values for different objects. Next one, inside this player, I am storing this player 1 value, player 2 value, player 3 value. So by using this for loop, I am extracting that respected player and respected value. See here, for player in players. So player is the iterating iterating variable and players is the name. So through that iteration, I am passing x dot players dot x1. It means player dot x1 means value of the player dot x1 and y dot player dot x2. It means value of the second value. So if I want to print the x and y values, it means x1 and x2 values for each player. I have to iterate through this and I have to print this through this. Whenever you do this, yes, see, I am getting x10, y20. Next x dot 40, next y dot 50, x dot 70, next y dot 80. So with the help of these objects, I am extracting these values. So likewise, we can be able to iterate over sequence of instances. Next one, how to do update instant attributes. Suppose if I want to change instant attributes, how do we change that? So we will see that. See here, you have to mention the class and class name and um, define the function name and have to pass two parameters length and width. After that, you have to create two instances, set that length and set the width as two instances. After that, you need to create an object with your object name as rectangle and also class name as rectangle, and you have to pass two parameters 40 and 60. So whenever you print this my rectangle, an object is created at that particular address. After that, you have to change this instance by calling with this object. So see here, my rectangle dot length equal to 100. So whenever you call this length and whenever you change this value by using this object, whenever you mention my rectangle dot length equal to 100, this 40 will be replaced with 100. Next, whenever you print my rectangle dot length, it will print 100. It means it is replaced by this 100 will replace the 40 value. Next, uh, if I want to change the value of the width also by using this object name dot width, we can able to change this instant attribute. So previously there is a 60. So now it will be 200. Whenever you print this, you can see 100 and 200. So likewise, you can able to update instant attributes. So if you want to get the instant attributes, you have to call with object name. And also if you want to update instant attribute also, you have to call with this object only. So without creating an object, you cannot get these values. It will throw an error. After creating an object only, you have to call those. Without creating an object, we should not call. So next, let's see the next example. See here, here I am creating a new class called circle and passing two parameters radius and color and giving two instances. After that, I am creating a new class for the class name circle and 30 and green. It means radius value will be 30 and the color will be green. So whenever we print my circle dot radius, it will print the value of the radius as 30, and whenever you print the my circle dot color, it will print the green color. Next one, I am creating a next class rectangle. It means you can create a multiple classes uh, and also you can create multiple functions inside that class. So I am creating a class name as a rectangle. I am passing length and width as two parameters and creating two instances. Next one, I am creating a new object with rectangle class and 40 and 60, and I am extracting the values by calling with this object my rectangle dot length and my rectangle dot width. So if I want to modify this circle instances, suppose if I want to change the radius or suppose if I want to change the color of the circle, see here, my circle dot radius equal to 100. Next one, whenever you print my circle dot radius, it will print 100 because we are doing modification with the help of the object. So my object dot instant equal to 100. So whenever you do this, it will create a modification and it will do modification with the previous value. Now the radius of the circle is 100, not 30. So my circle dot color equal to red. So you are updating your circle color with red. It means you are replacing the green value with red. So whenever you print this my circle dot color, it will print red and it will not print green because we are doing modification. Likewise, we are doing modifications rectangles also. By using this object method, you can also able to do. Likewise, you can able to do modifications for the instances and you can get the output as like this. Suppose if I want to delete an instance, so how to delete an instance means same class circle and you have to mention you have to define the function and you have to create two instances. You have to create an object and an object should be created and by using this del, so by using this delete method, delete keyword, you can able to delete whatever the instance you want. So suppose if I want to delete the circle color, so by using this my circle dot color, so beside this my circle dot color, just mention delete. So the circle color will be deleted. See the output here. Likewise, it will be printed. So here it is a project. So go through this project and understand the project and understand the output. Here I am class bacterium created and passing these values and created instances and I created three different objects and called three different values for the three different objects and like that here I am created after that print bacterium.x, bacterium2.x, bacterium3.x. Three objects were created at some specified address. After that, whenever you call this values with this, you will get these values. What are the values you are passed here? So with the help of the object, you can able to get them. So so like that you can able to say. Next, bakery mini project. So for bakery, what are the things that you require? You need to check flavor. Next, you check price and quality. So likewise, we need to take these parameters and create three instances. Next, again, I have to create a class with customer. So for the customer name also, you have to note some details of the customer. So for that purpose, you need to pass this parameter. So you need to note the name of the customer. You need to name the age, address, favorite, and debit. So these are the attributes that are required for the customer. You have to call this. You have to create instances like this. And next, you need to create donut. So for donut is a It means donut is a special item in the bakery. So for that you need to check different things for that. So what are that? You need to check the flavor for the donut, toppings, filling, and size. So those are the required things for the donut. You have to create those four instances. After that, you have to create a class attribute, and after that, sorry. So likewise, you have to create. So that is the project. That is another project. Here, see, I am creating one class. After that, I am mentioning class attribute here. So ID counter equal to 1. So after that, I am mentioning function with parameters title and rating. So I am creating a see here self.id equal to movie.id counter. So whenever you create that movie.id counter, this movie.id counter value is 1. So this 1 will be stored for the self.id. So next self.title, self.rating, these are the instance creator. Next movie.id counter plus equal to 1. So what is the movie.id counter value? 0. So here I am incrementing 1. So 0 plus 1 equal to 1. So whenever I create an object and pass with these two parameters, it means title of the movie and rating of the movie. And again you are creating another object with another title with another rating. So whenever you print the ID, it will give ID as true because for this object it will take the value 0 plus 1 1. So why it is next to means so the movie.id counter value is updated. So again it will take movie.id counter value equal to movie.id counter plus 1. It means previously the movie.id counter value is 1. Again here we are adding another one. So 1 plus 1 2. So for this movie this is the another ID. It means for different movie IDs, we are it means we are creating different IDs for different movies. So that is what we are saying. So I hope everyone understood what is the what is the class, what is the object, and what is the self, and how to create an instance and how to access values and how to do modifications of the instances and how to delete instance and of an object. We have seen in this class. So next things will be discussed in the next class. Until then, I hope everyone understood this class. So if you are clear with this concept, please hit the like button and also please uh, subscribe for it. And also if you are having any doubt, please mention your doubt in the comment section so that I will try to clear it. So thank you for everyone for watching this. So thank you. Bye bye.